Okay, now participant can see your application. Okay, good. So this is just the opening slide. Yeah, we are in the right class today. And this is from the session 1. Of course, session 1, we went into the discussion, yeah, right from the detailed definition of what is hiri and what is otapa, yeah, and that's where kukucha come in, yeah. And, you know, in case some of us still do have some confusion, actually there's a different, hiri and otapa refer to, yeah, the moral shame or moral fear, yeah, that arises before any bad action or any mistake is being done, you know. So this is the realization before, yeah. So kukucha is very different. This is the feeling that arises after, unfortunately, you know, we were not mindful, you know, we have done the mistake or the bad action is committed. Therefore, you know, the feeling of remorse or guilt arises. That's kukucha. So hiri and otapa and kukucha is definitely on 2 different spectrum altogether. Yeah, one is actually before. That's why the cultivation of hiri otapa is so important to protect our mind from moral defilement or from wrongdoings, yeah, unwholesome doings. Yeah, but kukucha is that already done already. That's how the consequences, yeah, the results of the bad action or the results of the mistake that you make. So that's when, you know, you experience kukucha, right? Or in English, remorse and guilt. Yeah. So this is what we want to talk about. And of course, I think this is just a recap. Last week we went through this. Yeah. The hiri, the otapa, and of course, the question I gave you, question 1 and 2, is anchor on this. Yeah. The other 5 treasure. Yeah, since hiri and otapa is 2 of the 7 treasure, and of course we can't, you know, escape, you know, from looking into the Noble Eightfold Path and all the groups. I believe, yeah, you have actually had that in your discussion. In your application part or your practices part, you know, some of you mentioned about right speech, right action, right view, yeah, right mindfulness, yeah, in your practice and so on and so forth. So I'm very happy to see that these slides, yeah, the discussion just now, yeah, has actually bring out the application part. Yeah. So, and of course today, yeah, this was the question, yeah, for our the breakout room discussion. And of course today, what we want to look at, like I said, you know, is the other spectrum of the hiri otapa. Hiri otapa is before. Kukucha is after, done deal already done. Yeah. So the remorse and guilt. Yeah. So, and this kukucha is also, you know, an experience that is not easy to actually you know, realize sometimes. Yeah, even though yeah, we as human beings, yeah, we definitely have the ability to recognize mistakes or bad action, especially, you know, if we are cultivating or practicing hiri and otapa. Yeah, and hopefully, you know, with the hiri and otapa, that's where we will resolve not to repeat those mistakes and stick to our resolution, yeah, to practice, yeah, and to prevent ourselves from the defilements, the moral defilements, yeah. But you know, of course, yeah, to actually resolve not to repeat our mistake, yeah, it requires a lot more effort and energy, yeah. But if, you know, we are debilitated by or burdened by our feeling of guilt or remorse over our mistakes, yeah, then, you know, one of the challenging area is that, you know, the guilt and remorse feeling, yeah, is so strong that it is actually depriving your mind, yeah, of the strength that the mind needs to keep from repeating the old mistakes. Yeah. So that's why, you know, learning how to handle kukucha is still very important. Yeah. All of us know what is kukucha, we know. Yeah. But the tricky part is sometimes, yeah, we can be so overwhelmed by it that that's where, you know, the mind strength, unfortunately, you know, will be reduced. Yeah. And when the mind strength is reduced, you know, that's where we are vulnerable. Again, you know, that means we are not mindful. Yeah. So we could be mindless. Yeah. The mind strength is so low or so weak. And that's where he may end up making mistakes again. Yeah. So one of the points of kukucha is, why some individuals can be so overwhelmed by kukucha is because of the statement I put in the bracket, because instead of seeing our past mistake as events or processes that has happened, we actually see our past mistake as we ourselves being the stupid one, we are the guilty one, we are feeling shameful of what we have done. A lot of this identification with the self is so strong that you're so caught and overwhelmed by the kukucha, right? And this is tricky, because the sense of self, right, is of course, this is the opposite of anatta, right? The non-self, is something, definitely, all of us are still practicing, and it's not easy. So one of the reasons a lot of people, really struggle with guilt, remorse, regret, or even feeling so horrible and bad about it, and they are so stuck in the emotional process. So it becomes very difficult for them to have the mental strength to do the cultivation part. So this is the important point about kukucha that we need to look at. And of course, the articles that I gave you. So the definition, some of the definition of kukucha. One of it is the mental agitation arising from anxiety that one has done wrong, or might do wrong, or might fail to do right. So but mostly is what one has done wrong. So the feeling of guilt, remorse, worry, over scrupulous. Over scrupulous is interesting. This is the definition here, is extremely careful about what is morally right. When you are over scrupulous, is also tricky for the mind. So, and kukucha, often, we need to look at it together with vipatisara, which is regret in English, and in connection with udacha, which is the fourth of the 5 hindrances. So the 5 hindrances again, is something that is very core and classic, for all of us practicing Buddhists to learn, from our Buddhist scripture, right? So in fact, udacha and kukucha is the number 4 hindrance. So therefore, the article that I gave you, one is just on the definition, the other is actually the extract from the Access to Insight website, which is a very good website in terms of learning Dhamma in a very systematic way. So I based a lot on that because I myself enjoy learning, following that website. So the extraction here, that of course came from there is the simile of udacha and kukucha. So that's the beautiful part of our Buddhist learning, right? Is presented to us in different ways. One is of course the classic, the sutta itself. Then we have the commentaries, and then of course we have the similes. So here I extracted the similes. So when we talk about udacha and kukucha, so this paragraph is so important for us to reflect on, because that's how they describe udacha and kukucha, right? If there is water in a pot, stirred by the wind, agitated, swaying, and producing waves, a man, or of course a woman too, is human being, with a normal faculty of sight, could not properly recognize and see the image of him or herself, right? So in the same way, when one's mind is possessed by restlessness and remorse, overpowered by restlessness and remorse, one cannot properly see the escape from restlessness and remorse that have arisen. Then one does not properly understand about one's own welfare, nor of another person's welfare, or both the welfare of oneself and others. And also, texts memorized long time ago do not come into one's mind, not to speak of those not memorized. I like the last 2 sentences, and this is where, a lot of times we may get caught, yeah, in the memorizing the suttas, the chanting, and so on and so forth. But if this hindrance is arising, it can be very tricky. Yeah, we may not remember, in a more the theoretical application. That's why the practice part, the application part is very important. And especially if it's a regular or daily practice, then hopefully, if Udacha and Kukucha is happening, yeah, we will not be in chaotic mode, have nowhere to refer to. We will still hopefully have our daily practice that has become a healthy habit, healthy habitual action. Then hopefully, yeah, we will still remember some ways, some practices to help us to escape from this Udacha and Kukucha. Yeah, so I like this simile, how they put it. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, so the subsequent slides, of course, yeah, like I mentioned, yeah, Udacha and Kukucha is the number 4 out of the 5 hindrances. Yeah, so of course there are 5 hindrances itself. It can be another DIG topic, for 3 sessions. Yeah, so but today, of course, we are looking at number 4. So, but of course, 1, 2, 3, and 5. Yeah, please do go back if you need to look for revision for it, and so on and so forth, to revise on the 5 hindrances. Yeah, because it's so important. It is called hindrances because they hinder our mind in many ways, and it obstructs our mental development, the bhavana. Yeah, so especially these 2 spiritual or mental development, yeah, the tranquility and the insight component, yeah, the samatha and vipassana part. Yeah, so and especially for the samatha, the tranquility part, yeah, especially during meditative practice, yeah, definitely learning to overcome these 5 hindrances is a preliminary condition. And those of us who have, of course, learned and continue to practice meditation, you know it. You know I'm talking about this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, whenever you would like to meditate, or whenever you have taken 10 days leave to go for meditation retreat. By goodness, the 10 days, these 5 hindrances just wants to stick by you. You are really challenged by the 5 hindrances. Yeah, so naturally the 5 hindrances is something not easy for us to overcome. Yeah, so today we are looking at one of it, yeah, which is the Udacha and Kukucha, restlessness and remorse, or sometimes they use the word worry. Yeah, okay. So, and of course, I'm not going into this, yeah. I'm just going to highlight, if some of you that have not read, which is normal, yeah. Teacher give article, but then the participants haven't read before they come to the class, it's normal. But if you have not read and you want to go back and read, so especially the commentary component, yeah, I really want to highlight the last paragraph, because the commentary that describe restlessness and remorse, yeah, is so clear that if we are overcome by restlessness or remorse, it is like being a slave. Yeah, we are actually like a slave being caught. Yeah, so tied down. Yeah, being a slave. And of course, yeah, the abandonment of restlessness and remorse, if you can overcome it, yeah, so it is similar to winning the freedom from slavery. So this 4th hindrance is so important, because if you're caught inside it, you are really trapped in the mind like a slave, right? So the mind is so preoccupied, so rigid, so tight, yeah, so deluded, yeah, so it's really suffering like a slave, right? So of course, yeah, we would like to learn the abandonment of restlessness and remorse, so that we have this freedom from being a slave. Yeah, so that's how the commentary put it. I felt it was very powerful. Yeah, these 2 statements. Yeah, the last sentence. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and oops, sorry, too fast. And of course, yeah, it is also mentioned that there are 6 things conducive to the abandonment of restlessness and remorse. Yeah, our teacher Buddha is definitely a great teacher, has always given us all the teachings, or the way, or the path to practice. And the 6 suggested practice, yeah, especially on these 4 hindrances, restlessness and remorse, is this that I have listed. Yeah, 1, knowledge of the Buddhist scripture. And well done, all of you, by coming to enroll for this program, these 3 classes, yeah, which these 3 classes, yeah, we anchor on going back to the ancient Buddhist scripture, which is go back to especially from the suttas, yeah, and of course from the formal commentaries, yeah, and so on and so forth. So naturally, learning from the back to the basic, yeah, the ancient scripture, or from the suttas, yeah. 2, asking question about them. This is exactly why our format of our class, that you got to do your breakout room, yeah. So we pose you question, and we ask ourselves this question, and we discuss it with our group members, yeah. Willingness to ask question, yeah. So that's the criteria. Number 3, familiarity with the Vinaya, and of course the Vinaya, you know, for the monastic, yeah, is the code of monastic. For us, the lay people, yeah, almost all of us here today are lay practitioner. Of course, it refers to the principles of moral conduct, yeah. The very basic, our 5 precepts at least, yeah. So the 4th one, association with those matured in age and experience, who possesses dignity, restraint, and calm. So this is again, yeah, associate with the wise, yeah, and not the foolish, yeah. So we make sure that in our life, yeah, we do associate with the good and wise people, not the unwise or people will have unwholesome behavior or conduct, and so on and so forth. Yeah, please associate with the wise. Yeah, and number 5 is very important: noble friendship. Yeah, again, yeah, number 5 and number 6. Yeah, noble friendship and suitable conversation. I've extracted that. Oops, sorry, again, clicking too fast. Yeah, so in fact, I think most of us will remember, yeah, about this phrase. Yeah, the entire holy life, Ananda, is noble friendship, noble companionship, noble association of a monk, Ananda, who has a noble friend, a noble companion, a noble associate. It is to be expected that he will cultivate and practice the Noble Eightfold Path. Yeah. So again, of course, when we come to overcoming one of the hindrances, or all the hindrances, in fact, if you read that article in detail, in fact, this noble friendship is recommended for all the 5 hindrances, not only this number 4 hindrance. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, having noble friendship is important. Yeah, so please again, yeah, associate ourselves with the wise, and including not only associate with the wise, including, yeah, being friend, yeah, and maintaining the friendship and companionship, yeah, with the noble Kalyana Mitra. Yeah, so this is what he meant by number 5. Number 6 is, of course, suitable conversation. Yeah, so the discussion of Dhamma, like what we are doing today, listening to the Dhamma, discussion of the Dhamma, asking question, this refers to suitable conversation. Yeah, to learn more about the Dhamma so that we overcome the hindrances. Yeah, so this is what is suggested. Yeah, 6 practice, but apart from that, there's also 3 other helpful, yeah, practices to overcome this hindrance of restlessness and remorse. And these definitely, you look at the word rapture, concentration, tranquility, yeah, all this meditative practice. So I'm so glad and happy just now, you know, when some of you presented, yeah, you all talk about the right mindfulness, you know, the meditative practice, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so you are already you know, acknowledging this is important. Yeah, but I want to point to us 2 points that is important for us to realize. Yeah, when the mind is restless, it is not the proper time to cultivate the following factor of enlightenment. So when your mind are too restless, too worried, too agitated, yeah, so this is where, yeah, you want to realize that that may not be the right timing for you to be involved in Dhamma activity that is very much into investigation of the doctrine, talking about energy and rapture, because an agitated mind, you know, it's very hard to be quiet down by these 3 activities. But instead, when the mind is restless, it is proper time to cultivate the tranquility part, concentration, equanimity, yeah, which is the samatha part, the calming part, yeah, because hopefully, yeah, an agitated mind can be quiet down, or can calm down, or can ease down, yeah, when we actually practice tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. Yeah, so this is I highlighted this for myself to remember, because this is the right application of our practices. Yeah, so if you are too restless, you cannot pick up a sutta and read. You cannot absorb. Yeah, it's too difficult. Yeah, that is investigation of the doctrine. Your mind is so restless, full of worries and agitated, you cannot read a sutta. Yeah, that is not the proper time. Yeah, the more proper time, or the more proper action is sit down, try your best to calm your mind with your meditative practice. Yeah, that's what it meant. Yeah, by these 2 pointers. Yeah, to remind us. Yeah. Oops, sorry. And, what I wanted to, oops, why am I pressing too quickly with the mouse here? Okay, what I want to point out here is that it's very interesting, yeah, as some of the introduction that has been done by Sister Lian Yong at the first session. I'm actually also a circular mindfulness trained teacher. And I wanted to highlight to you, yeah, in circular mindfulness, and especially one of the 3 proper, scientific, well-researched school of circular mindfulness is, of course, Oxford Mindfulness Foundation. Yeah, you'll be surprised, as one of the teacher, yeah, for those of us undergoing the teachers training, to deliver their training, we have to undergo one workshop called Buddhist psychology. And this is the module for that workshop that all of us, Buddhist, non-Buddhist, whatever, people who enroll for the Oxford Mindfulness Foundation mindfulness teachers training program, we have to go through this training, this workshop, and this is what they presented. Yeah, exactly. I took this from the workshop I attended, which is the agenda or the schedule. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, because the circular or the psychology world, yeah, the circular mindfulness world, they actually fully acknowledge that the mindfulness practice came from the Buddhist tradition. So they want all the participants to actually at least get to know the Buddhist psychology. And what they, of course, they term it Buddhist psychology, but this is what they discuss. 4 noble truths, noble eightfold path, Satipatthana Sutta, the 3 characteristics, right? Dependent origination, the 4 Brahma Viharas. Yeah. So what more? Yeah. So I wanted to highlight this is that, so, and of course, what we are discussing in this three sessions class is still all back to the basic, especially the Noble Eightfold Path that I have highlighted, in my slide together with the 7 treasure. Is interconnected. Yeah, it's depending on how it's presented. Yeah, but it is actually still back to the 3 practices, right? The ethics component, or the sila, or the moral conduct, right? Or the virtue. Whatever English word you want to use that, yeah? The word that they use is ethics, right? Then the mental cultivation, yeah? So this is the samadhi part, yeah? The mental development. Some words they use it, mental development. The insight is the panya, yeah? Panya, the wisdom cultivation, yeah? So they actually highlighted the 4 Brahma Viharas as so important to practice because, yeah, if we have all the difficult emotion, that's where you actually find this four Brahma Viharas an obstacle to practice. But therefore, that's why our teacher, the Buddha, has taught us, to practice the 4 Brahma Viharas so that we can overcome the difficult emotions in our life, right? So I just wanted to share with you, this is what the psychology world is doing, acknowledging, our core Buddhist teachings, yeah. And interestingly, yeah, they actually have these steps to practice, yeah, with the 5 hindrances, yeah, because we talk about the 5 hindrances in this module, right? In the Satipatthana Sutta, yeah, we will talk about 5 hindrances, yeah. So, and this was the Oxford Mindfulness Foundation's steps, yeah, on how you can also practice, to cope with your hindrances, yeah. And they suggested this 5 step: grounding, recognizing, allowing, investigating with kindness, non-identifying, not me, not mine, just condition. Isn't that very Buddhist, right? Yeah. So, and this is actually, pointing to, to me, it points to right effort, right concentration, right mindfulness, right? Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So this what is how they introduce the Buddhist psychology. Yeah. So, and of course, the 4 Brahma Viharas. I'm going to give you all these slides. Yeah. So this is usually what I prepare for my sharing for 4 Brahma Viharas. I like graphic, I like cartoons. So this helped me to remember better. So, but of course, we are not going to talk about 4 Brahma Viharas today. So I'm just showing you this nice cartoon because every time, I have it in my mind, to remind myself about the 4 Brahma Viharas practice. Yeah. So this is 4 Brahma Viharas. I think, this is, okay, I wanted to share this with all of you, yeah, as in terms of practice and application. Some of you who have attended my class, I always, bring this up. Yeah, this is one of the aspiration quotation from the Daily Buddhist Devotion book by our late Chief Venerable Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda, page 125, right? So for me, this aspiration quotes, yeah, has all the Dhamma or has all the reminder for me to practice the Dhamma. So I want to share it with you. Maybe as a homework, then with 2 weeks before we meet up, yeah, maybe you try, yeah, we can print out this slide or copy out this slide. You try to recite this and reflect on this, yeah. For me, it's so meaningful. Every single sentence, yeah, it is the different Dhamma that is reminding me, yeah, about being a human being, yeah, being a practicing Buddhist. So I hope, yeah, you can explore this aspiration quotation, recite it. I do it every night, yeah, for myself, yeah. This is really my daily Dhamma reflection. Yeah. So, okay. So this is all I have on the sharing today. So the next segment is, of course, I think it can be opened up for the Q&A. Anchoring on our focus of today is on Uddhacca and Kukucca. Yeah, of course, that was my main slides, presentation. Or, of course, it could also go back to what some of the pointers that the group members has brought up. Yeah, and how, of course, it's presented. Yeah, so yeah, so remember the 6, huh? One of it, number 2, asking question. So we're practicing the 6, yeah, as part of our practice of really, overcoming, hopefully, our 5 hindrances. Yeah. So now it's Q&A part, right, Sister Lenyong?
Yes. Okay, sure. So brothers and dear brother and sisters, if you have any questions, you can ask Sister Mian now.
Don't worry about putting on your video if your internet connection is bad. You can remain, off video. But I prefer actually you unmute and ask verbally rather than type in the chat. Then I have to go and read in the chat. Yeah. So because we are small group, so let's just on your mic and then or raise hands so that I know Sister Lenyong knows, so we can go to you. Yeah. So please do that. And I think Ariya just joined us. I saw the video on. Right, so Ariya is here, so Ariya can also answer the question.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, Ariya, welcome back. I know you have to go and settle something.
Thank you. Yeah. So wait for the question then.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I get the ball rolling. Okay, Sister Mian, just now you mentioned that in the slide there were 3 ways of overcoming. One was rapture, jhanaga, Another one was concentration, indriya, and the third one was tranquility, bojjhanga. You mentioned that if let's say somebody has an agitated mind, it's best to use the tranquility method. Can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, Sister Lin Yong, like I mentioned, right? You know, because they were suggesting the method to practice, especially when the mind is too restless, too agitated. That's why they discourage us from, you know, going back to investigate the doctrine, like reading a sutta. You know, you definitely cannot read, right? So what they suggest is to practice more of the tranquility or the equanimity practice, yeah, which is actually, yeah, going back to our meditative practice, you know, as simple as how Ariya guided us just now. Yeah, how do we just, you know, remember to allow ourselves, especially when you are aware and mindful that the mind is so agitated and restless, and you want to make the right effort that, okay, I would like to calm down. So then that's where you sit down and practice, yeah, your meditative practice. And we are so blessed now, Buddhists, yeah, we are being taught by so many teachers. So and of course, you know, different style of meditation. But ultimately, yeah, the key here is to stop, yeah, allow the mind, yeah, to be able to calm down, and through whatever meditative practice or technique that you wish, but that is the target, yeah, rather than a lot of times, you know, especially when the mind is so agitated and restless, yeah, in fact, it's so active and it's so driven to the, I want to resolve this, I want to resolve this. And the more you do that, it's going to be even worse. Instead, is to do the reverse, is not to do anything, right? Which is, of course, not to say not do anything, but this is where we want to go back to observing what's happening to the mind and the heart, right? So, and of course, the most basic way is that you need to calm the mind down, right? So, you know, that's what they meant by that statement, that simple statement, yeah, that I extracted.
All right, thank you, Sister Mian. Okay.
Yeah, Sister Mia, I got question also. There's one statement say ask question. So when let's say we are that's meditate already calm down, like thoughtless or like getting lazy to talk to think anything, like not like nothing in mind. So I should ask question to myself, why I am like I'm getting bored to meditate maybe, or is it the right way, or is it should I do that, or just let it be like thoughtless and nothing when I do meditation? The mind like empty, sometimes like that.
I am being naughty here. Is it empty, or actually is one of the hindrance? You're already sleepy and drowsy.
I don't know.
Which is a lot of times it happened to us, right?
Sleepy.
Yeah. One of the classic hindrance, right?
All right. I need to wash myself.
Yes, that's why you see, it's for us to go back to look at the 5 hindrances.
Sometimes I just sit there. It's not sleepy. Understand? Sometimes I sleepy, but sometimes not sleepy. Like when I sit down, there's a lot of thought. Then after that, just tarik nafas. Then after some while, that's been calm. Yeah. So that's why I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. Of course. You know. I mean, one of it could be actually boredom, like nothingness, boredom. It is also a hindrance. It is a form of hindrance. It is a form of hindrance, right? You know, so and of course, the tricky part is that for us to realize, it is actually the hindrance arising, yeah. And instead of like what you say, you know, going into questioning why is it like that, that it will be the tricky part. That's the tricky part that the mind will be actually wondering and ruminating of. But instead, Yeah, remember, always return to your object of meditation. Whatever hindrances, yeah, if we are aware, we are aware of it, the most important thing is that to note, yes, the mind has wandered off, yeah, or the mind is experiencing hindrance, yeah, what should I do now? Is just go back to the object of meditation. If it's breath, go back to the breath. The homework is the same, to return to the object of meditation. Yeah. If you start allowing the mind to question, it becomes very tricky. Yeah. Of course, sometimes it's quite a healthy reflection, right? But this mind is so tricky. Before you know it, now you'll go running already. Yeah, wandering off. All right. So the best is that, note, okay, this is what I'm experiencing. I'm actually not focused on my object of meditation anymore. So just gently guide my mind back to focus on the object of meditation. Yeah. So maybe Ariya want to add into Sister Cindy's question. That's how I will reply, Sister Cindy. So Ariya, please, if you have anything clear.
Thank you, Mian. So just now I think Sister Mian has also give you a perspective. Yeah, there's two ways of looking at it. The meditator should know. Yeah, means the knowing is always there. Yeah, so if you know that when you practice and the mind become very calm, yeah, you also know, yeah, it is calm, yeah. And if the mind is very calm, and then after that it become more and more quiet, that is the quality you're looking at, yeah. So then if you pursue that calmness and quietness, of course, it will lead you to a state where the thoughts totally cease, yeah. So that is a quality that will help you to go into a deeper concentration. But if, let's say, you practice and the mind got calm for a while, but then after that, it becomes blank, yeah, and you lose that clarity. That is where, hindrances come. This is where you have to come back to the object of your meditation. But it is very calm, very quiet, you are clear, you know energy is there, your presence of mind is there, continue. Don't ask, because when you ask, then there's grossness in your mind. You're putting grossness into your mind, you're putting thoughts into your mind, so it disturbs the mind again, and the mind fall to grossness again. So you got to restart again to go into the calmness. So two things. So the meditator should know which is which, yeah. So if your mind get to blankness, then drowsiness, the kind of feeling of what's going on, like no direction, means you are doubtful, yeah. So that is hindrances. But if the mind is very calm, very quiet, you are clear, yeah. And so that is the quality that you want to pursue. So don't question, have confidence, yeah. It will go deeper and deeper, and then finally, yeah, from many thoughts to very less thoughts to very far thoughts, and then after that to no thoughts, yeah. And if you can pursue that no thoughts for a long time, mean it naturally one. You don't have to enforce it, but you have to keep your mindfulness still in the knowing of just the in-breath and out-breath, nothing else, yeah. And then it will go deeper and deeper. So it takes time, it takes practice, and I think that will help. So it is good to have a consistent practice. So when you have consistent practice, sometimes you may get into that state, but have no doubt, yeah. So your mind is clear, you're calm, quiet, then continue to pursue. Yeah. So frequent practice and persistent practice and consistent practice will make it perfect, and you will get there one day. Yeah, and they get there, then of course it was even when they get into very deep, no thoughts, very peaceful, very elated, energetic, calm, you will want to meditate, because that state actually brings a lot of inner joy. Yeah, inner joy. Joy will start to spring up. Yeah, and lightness of body, and gladness, and more clarity. Yeah, that you don't go and when you experience that, you also don't go and say, wow, you know. You say wow, habis, you know, the whole thing drop again. Because why? You're putting thoughts. Yeah. So once there's thoughts, the mind get wobble. Yeah. So in the wobble mind, you won't get that kind of statement. So you have to be very quiet, quiet. Like people say, like forest still, the still pool. So if you sit there, and even if you're very still and you're very deep in stillness, the jungle animal, all kinds of unique jungle animal will come up. But the moment you blink your eyes, everything, all the animals will run away. So that's how to experience what it means, like sama, samadhi, all these things. You need to be very still, very quiet, very calm. And the rest of when you purify the mind with all this is where we call the 5 hindrances. We don't say we suppress, they subside. Yeah, not suppress. You suppress, they will come up. Subside, they naturally like rest for a while. You know, they are not active at all. So that's where you start to experience what is called, you know, the purity of the mind, the strength of the mind, the power of the mind lies there in when the mind is very still, very calm, very deep. Yeah. So these are the layers that the Buddha taught us. Yeah, how we can understand. Yeah, the perspective of the mind, and of course further to many other aspects of the mind. Yeah, and the insight means the knowledge through this purity of the mind is the knowledge that you gain directly. It's no more information from Buddhist texts or Dhamma teachers or all those things. Means that knowledge comes to you and you understand what it is. So that will be very helpful and build up your faith and confidence in the Buddha's teaching. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariya. Yeah. We go to Sister Ikas. You raise your hand, Sister Ikas. Yeah.
Okay, Sister Ikas.
Hey, where is she? Now gone. Okay.
Okay. Sister Sumangala, I just want to ask.
Sister Ikas, again, your laptop problem. Cannot hear you. Yeah. She attended my class before. You have to come very near. We can't hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to ask, when does contemplation comes in, and also does during the contemplation do we ask questions to understand something?
Will I hear your question very clearly? Can you repeat?
Okay, my question is, when does as Sister Sumangala said that we don't ask questions, when does contemplation come in? Do we ask question? Is it included question to understand something?
I still couldn't hear very clearly, but I'm trying to catch what you're trying to say. But I think it is important to know that before meditation, we have the preliminary, let's say, guidance or instruction, yeah, for meditation, yeah. So it is important for the meditator to get the instruction understood clearly, how we meditate there, and how do we get into that state or object of meditation for the practice. But during meditation, the process of the meditation, normally, depending on the object of meditation, yeah. So like, for example, when we talk about, let's say, mindfulness on the in-breath and out-breath, so our focus will always bring back to the in-breath and out-breath mindfulness, yeah. And so during this period of time, during meditation, normally we don't ask questions. We go through the process of that mindfulness, of getting into deeper into this mindfulness of in-breath and out-breath, which will pave way for you to bring the presence of the mind on that particular state where
Oops, Aya's connection broken, is it, Sister Lenyo?
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh.
Where is
Oops.
Let's try again. Wait.
Sister Andrea, can you help check Aya Sumangala's Ariya, your mic is still mute. You're back. Yes, you're back.
Okay.
Just now, yeah,
Yeah, something
your connection
happened.
broke off.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So during the process of the meditation, we allow the process of mindfulness to take place. Yeah, the more mindful we are on the in-breath and out-breath, then thoughts are not able to come in. Yeah, because there's an object that we are practicing, and this is the best actually for converging the mind into the present moment. And so the Buddha actually praised this kind of meditation, and indeed many suttas are talking about how to practice. Yeah, and with even like this mindfulness of in-breath and out-breath, that is where I say the process of calming down the mind, yeah, through this object of meditation, we just continue to practice. And during the period of the practice, we don't ask questions, because the moment we ask question, we are allowing the thoughts to come in. And our mind, they are so habitual. When they catch a thought, yeah, they start to spin. So we name it as proliferation. That is the habit of most mind, untrained mind, untamed mind. Yeah, the moment it grabs on one thought, it will go to another thought, another thought, another thought. Yeah, and then the whole story comes, and then we don't know where we jump to, and then the whole movie comes. So who is the director? You are the director. Yeah, and you make stories here, movies there, and then after that you find, hey, well, why am I lost? Then you come back, right? So that's why it is helpful to just sustain our mind with the object of meditation. So here, that's why we say during the period of meditation, all we need to do is remember the instruction well. And if our mind stray, we just put the instruction back, yeah, and then come back to the practice. The rest, you don't entertain. The moment you entertain, that is where the moment you will get lost with the thoughts again. So, and then also, like we say, when the mind gets into a very calm state, there are two possibilities that most people experience. One is because you have never experienced such kind of, let's say, joy and happiness or the pleasure, yeah, coming within. And so, of course, you will tend to say, wow, you know, because when you see something very special or experience something, you know, that kind of utterance of wow, you know, is like very special, yeah. Because when the moment you instill something into the thought, that is where it drops. Because why? You disturb the calmness already, you disturb the stillness. That is one. Second thing is that people get fearful because they have never experienced it, and they start to ask, what is that? Yeah, what is that? Yeah, you see, again, you're putting thoughts. Yeah, so when you put the thoughts in, again, it will disappear. It becomes gross again, it fall down again. So it back to the grossness, and that's where that you miss the chance, you know, you practice so hard and you get into that good state, and suddenly out of curiosity or out of, you know, the enjoyment, then, you know, it disappear again. And sometimes, just to precaution, yeah, sometimes when you get there and you have this kind of experience, and like Sister Mian always keep mentioning this word, the tricky part is then after that you meditate, you want to get into that state. And so sorry, yeah, you won't get in, because now you are putting expectation into that meditation, and you will never get there, because that state comes from what? Relinquishment, letting go. Yeah, it's not holding to something, but it's letting go, and just only practicing that the persistency of the mindfulness that leads to the samadhi. Yeah, it's not you want to get there. When you want to get there, you will never get there, because why? Behind your mind, very latent, very subtle in your mind, is craving. Yeah, craving, expectation to experience the same thing. So you will not get there. So this is the tricky part of it. Yeah. So when you are like innocent, sometimes you get in. So when you become like a bit experienced, then you never get it. So this is a precaution that you have to take. So to really get into it, that's why we say don't expect, just like always like a beginner, and then practice, follow the instruction properly. And it's only after the meditation we come out, then only we reflect back what we do right that lead us to that calmness or leads us to very deep meditation. Okay, what we do not following the instruction that hinder us from getting into calm state. And then those are the things then we reflect after we come up from meditation. And then the next thing, and then we do all the proper preliminary session before we sit for the meditation, and then what to do during meditation and after meditation. All right. So I hope I answer your question, because I couldn't really hear clearly, but I think maybe something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Very clear.
It's so coincident, Ariya. One of my slides just now, I actually have one of the small pointers on papancha. And you just talk about papancha, yeah? Proliferation, the snowballing of the mind, yeah? Which is, yeah, definitely one of the hindrance. Yeah. So perhaps I will send you guys some materials on the papancha, yeah? So it is an area, yeah, that very important for us to look into. And I'm sorry, Sister Yo, I saw the raised hand very long. Thank you for waiting. So I'm just doing a time check. Yeah, we are at 4:01. Yeah, so maybe this will be the last question. Some question I saw in the chat box, I will probably try to answer it through the email when I give you guys the question for the next class and the reading material for the next class. So Sister Yo, I know your raised hand has been very long. So yes, please ask your question to me or to Ariya.
Good afternoon, Sister Mian and Sister Ariya. Yes, I got this question. When I feel sleepy, each time I feel sleepy or when going to doze off, I mean usually late morning or sometimes afternoon, I will go into the breathing meditation. So when I go into the breathing meditation, breathe in, breathe out, I concentrate, I found that I feel better. So please advise, I don't know I'm on the right track or not.
I think you answer yourself, right? Yeah. So you will feel sleepy, and after you do the light breathing meditation, you feel all right. Right? So I think
so what do you think? Because then look.
Sorry, Sister Yo, your line interrupted. What did you say? Off your video, Sister Yo, because I think your internet is bad. Yeah, off your video. Off your video.
My video. Okay, hold on. Off the video.
Okay, speak. Okay. Yes.
So, Sister Mian, because a lot of people tell me that when you come down, only you meditate. But for me, each time I feel sleepy. Last time, I don't know. Before I think 2 years back, when I feel sleepy, I will just go for a nap and then come back half an hour like that. So I feel that something must be wrong. How can I always go for a nap? So I try this. This method that when I feel each time I feel sleepy and groggy, I will sit down and breathe in, breathe out, force myself. Breathe in, breathe out. Then after quite some time, it's okay.
Okay. First, don't force yourself. Yeah. Note this that okay. Yeah. When I'm practicing like that, it has been helpful for me. Yeah. One of the things to note the mind. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of the harshness of the forcing. Yeah. So realize that whenever I feel sleepy, restless, when I sit down and just do my breathing meditation, I feel all right. So this is a helpful practice for me. So therefore, I shall continue to practice this way. And in fact, Sister Yo, if you, I will give you guys the slide. It's actually one of the hindrance, the sleepiness. It's now hindrance number 3. So that's why the suggested practice is that, instead of reading suttas or whatever, the investigative part, it is suggested that we do the tranquility practice, right? Which is meditation, the simple, light breathing meditation. It's what you did.
Yeah? Thank you. Okay. Sadhu, Sadhu.
Okay. I saw Sister Tang. You have a question, but just to manage time, so because we want to be mindful and respectful of the time of the class that we have allocated, yeah, can you please, Sister Pang, you type in the chat box. I saw also another question in the chat box. I think Brother Bernard, yeah, I will answer it on the email. Yeah, when I give you all the reading materials and the homework. Yeah, so that we don't keep people, back in the class. Yeah, so please do that. Yeah, so Brother Bernard, Sister Pang, please type in the chat box. Sister Andrea will help me bring the question for me. Then I'll make sure I will answer it in my emailing out to you guys. Yeah. So Sister Lian Yong, back to you, MC.
Okay, thank you
Closing of the
very.
session.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Mian. Just maybe before we end, maybe Aya, would you like to say a few words on this topic to close today's session? Sister Aya, can you please turn on your mic? Okay.
So I think it's all right. I think Sister Mian has covered a lot. So we will call it a day. And yeah, looking forward for other sessions that she will be conducting.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Aya.